There's no passion. There's no care. There's no subtlety. There's no intricacy. There's no attention to detail. You're just out here being sloppy, licking a doorknob like it's an ice cream cone. And you want to tell me that you're a good rhythm player? Please, spare me. What's going on, everyone? Look at all of you. You guys are looking just spectacular today, except for you. I don't know what that's about. But anyways, I'm Davey, as always. You know what I'm saying? And today we're doing something a little different. We're going to do, this is a guitar lesson, right? But this is more along the lines of like something that I've dealt with students over the years, and just like you guys in like live chats and in comments and stuff. You guys have brought up a lot of stuff about like rhythm playing, and there's a lot to cover there. We're not doing that today. We're not doing a crazy amount of stuff, but the main reason why your rhythm sucks is because you're not using chord inversions. You're either not using them or you're not using them properly or to the effect that you need to get across the ideas that you want to get across. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're a rhythm player, first off, you are support. You are part of the rhythm section. You are supporting the song. And with any part you play within a band, you should always be serving the song and not yourself, you selfish little narcissist. If you're in music for that, I mean, you're probably going to be wildly successful, but what about your soul? What about this? What about your morals that you gave up on? What about that? Anyways, we're talking about chord inversions today. And like, okay, so what is a chord inversion? It's just a different shape of the same chord up the neck. All right, so what I mean is something like this. If we're taking E major, for example, you would have your what we're calling E-shaped E, and then that would move up to what we call the C-shaped E, and then we would have what I call the bob-shaped E, and then you would have the A-shaped E, and then you would start back over at the E-shaped E, because we don't count the G shape, because the G shape is the same as the A shape. And I know that I'm going through a bunch of stuff right now, but if you want to know more about any of this in detail, boom, you can buy the Golden Road Guitar course where this kind of thing is handled. However, moving on. So we've got these different things called chord inversions, same chord, different shape up the neck, right? The idea, though, is how you would weave them together. So if you've got a song, something is simple as, let's say, Franklin's Tower by the Grateful Dead. I'm sure most of you know that song, know of that song. But if you're just finding this video, then it's just A major, G major, and D major. It sounds something like this. So it'll be A to G to D. And already that up to D, like some people are going to have a little bit of trouble with that. But again, this is more of a concept than a showing you exactly how to do something, right? So the concept is to be able to throw these chord inversions in, because that's an A, a G, and a D. You've got an A, a G, a D all over the fretboard. A, G, D, that's like your first position, and then you've got A, G, D, or A, G, D. These are just chord inversion shapes, right? These are just different versions of the same chords. The thing that makes a rhythm interesting is the placement of those chord inversions, as well as the timing that you decide to whip them out. So right here, I've got the isolated bass and drum track from the Help on the Way, Slipknot, Franklin's Tower backing track. So I've got isolated bass and drums, and I'm going to just show you some different ideas of how to weave in those different shapes in a semi-interesting way, right? Because that's what we want to do. We're there to like kind of like build the whole thing up. If you're part of the rhythm section, then you are laying the groundwork for the band to soar, right? So there's a lot of responsibility there. So let's just take a little listen to what some of these things could look like and sound like, all right? All right, so we've got our little groove. So that's our A to G to D. We're going to start with the E shape A, E shape G, and A shape D. Okay, that's where we're going to start. But then we're going to move up to our C shape A, to our C shape G, to our E shape D. It's okay. It's not great, but all right, so from there, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to try to like pepper in some other kind of like rhythmic ideas, because like right at the end there, I stayed on the D while everything else went back to the G at that last part. So I went. So what that does is that like plays a D over the G, and it has this cool kind of like undulating sound to it, because again, this is like kind of like chord theory stuff of like you've got a G here and you've got a D here. They have a note. They have a note together, and also D is the 5 of G. So these chords played over each other work. All right? That's just what I'm going to tell you. So deciding to do these things in this type of way really allows the song to breathe and open up. Right? Because like you want it to be as like audibly interesting to everybody else as possible, not just to you, because a lot of songs are like the same chord progression, right? They're going to be like the same chords over and over again, unless you're doing like some prog stuff, whatever, some Steely Dan, some King Crimson, whatever your jam is, Michael McDonald, whatever. A lot of songs are going to stay within a certain area, especially if like you're doing jam band music or just like regular rock and roll. We're going to stay in the same area. So you've got to be able to like keep it fun for you and fun for the audience. It's really the audience that matters. Again, it's not you. So we've got to be able to convey that idea. You can still convey emotion through rhythm playing. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference between this and this. And like they all have their place, right? That's why it's so important to pay attention and lock in with your drums and your bass. So again, if we're gonna do something like this, so listen to the groove. You got the drums, and the bass is already a little bouncy. Boom, da doom, da doom, doom, da doom, 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 da doom, doom, doom. And then now everything's picked back up. So you would change the intensity with which you're playing, right? So we would be here. We'd be a little bit more up, like. The beauty of knowing your chord inversions, which again, Golden Road Guitar Course, the importance of knowing your chord inversions means that you can just hop around everywhere. And this is also how I view soloing. I view soloing by picking out the notes within the different chord inversions that work with the song, right? So this song, again, is just A, G, D. So I know that I can play any of these A, Gs, and Ds in whatever sequence and order I want to. And as long as I'm staying within the meter of the song and staying on beat with everything, I can kind of come in wherever. So let's give some ideas on how to kind of pop in and out, okay? And at that point, I'm just leaving the G out. And then. So, you can choose to take up more space or leave more space. All of these things have a different, emotional fallout from them, right? So there's always a different emotional kind of clarity, or because you want to convey emotion through playing, right? That's kind of the thing, is like we're manipulating vibrations. And when you get down to it, you want people to feel something when they're listening to your band or you or whatever. That's the thing. You want to feel something. We're all just out here trying to feel something. That's all we're trying to do. So what are you going to do to make people feel something? You're going to whip these chord inversions out. You're going to change things around. What you're going to do is you're going to not necessarily I always want you to know enough to think less. Does that make sense? I want you to know enough about your instrument and your chord inversions so you can kind of turn off and really get in the groove of the song. Because that's the whole thing we're trying to do here. We're trying to make it happen. So your best way to do that is to learn these chord inversions. So you can learn them wherever. Just learn your chord inversions. It's so important. And then put these things into practice by just trying to find these little pockets for you to fit in that allow you to elevate, serve the song, serve your audience. It's about them. It's about the song. It's about them. You are just moving it, So think about that and use this as kind of like a catalyst to really kind of hone in on that, because your rhythms are boring as shit, dude. You need to spice it up. You need to throw those different chord inversions in. Just decide to come in at different times. Don't leave anybody out to dry, but add to. Don't just become furniture. You know what I mean? Be an active participant. So that's it for this one. I love you guys. Hopefully things like this can keep happening. So we've been going through some changes here at the channel, just so you know. So if you haven't yet, subscribe, comment, all this stuff. We've got new content coming on the channel. I know we haven't done a Grateful Dead lesson in a long time. It stopped being fun. When it became an expectation and there was a lot of pressure on it, it stopped being fun, and I just stopped doing them. Not saying that they won't come back, but this was always supposed to be an entertainment channel. This was supposed to be like a channel on TV where you could just see different content, just different stuff. It was never supposed to be just a Grateful Dead channel. So what's happening now is that we're taking it back, and we are going to put out content that we want to make. That is the thing, is that we are creatives. This channel is not just me. It's my best friend Toby and my best friend Houston. We run this channel together. We're technically called Real Bird Entertainment. This is an entertainment company. And so we're going to be putting stuff out that we want to make. So we've got a new series of us reading Reddit stories that we're really excited about. Those are really fun. Real Bird Reads Reddit. You should go check that out. The first episode of that is up. We're going to be dropping a new series called Huey Dewey a Producy, where we are teaching Houston how to record and edit music and release a song from start to finish, first time opening Logic to promotion and releasing of a song through DistroKid. We're working on editing that right now, and it's really fucking cool. And I hope you guys watch it. We're bringing the podcast back. A Drink and a Joint is coming back. We've been renovating our podcast studio, and that's going to be a lot of fun. We're revamping how we're doing it. There's going to be music interviews. There's going to be games. There's going to be different segments each week that we all bring in and talk about. It's going to be really cool. We've also got family game night. We do family game night every week where we get together and play board games, and there's ability for you guys to interact. And so we just want you guys to stick around and give us a chance for this new stuff. Please give it a shot. Watch it. We're going to have new content going up on the Patreon over the next month. And so you can go join the Patreon. We've got great merch on the merch site, realbird.company.site. So if you want to go check that out, you can. You can always donate directly to the channel if you'd like to. None of this is required, but it really does help us continue to be expressive. Because that's what we are. We create stuff. We make stuff. And guitar lessons are just one of those things. I can't be stuck in a certain area. You guys don't have to watch, but I think that you'll enjoy it if you do. So yeah. So stick around, and we're going to be back with more things like this and everything else. So we love you so much. Thank you so much for your support and your love. And we'll see you soon. Go play guitar. Go play guitar and watch something funny. Okay? Mwah.